The next session on our agenda is a masterclass by Thermo Fisher. The topic of the masterclass is CleanConnect Sample Transfer Observation of Air-Sensitive Materials in their native state. And it is about the abstract and discussion points which say Thermo Fisher Scientific's CleanConnect Sample Transfer technology enables the observation of air-sensitive materials such as lithium and other reactive compounds in their pristine, unaltered state, and so on and so forth. And to present the masterclass, I would like to call upon stage Dr. Karthik Balasubramanian, Senior Product Manager, South Asia Electron Microscopy and Materials and Structural Analysis, Thermo Fisher Scientific, USA. A huge round of applause for Dr. Karthik Subramanian, ladies and gentlemen.
Check. So, good evening, one and all. I take this wonderful opportunity to thank the organizing committee members for inviting us for this discussion. It's an absolute honor to be part of here. And my very special thanks to the few who are left out to attend this discussion. So, ladies and gentlemen, over the next few minutes, I would like to present on a Thermo Fisher solution on how we analyze air-sensitive materials. With the modern age of research and development, transition towards a net zero carbon emission has been one of the biggest challenges that mankind is faced with. The energy storage vertical provides a fantastic opportunity to achieve a zero carbon emission with the help of battery materials. On the other hand, one of the few challenges as a researcher we are entered with is that these battery materials are severely limited in terms of performance by the constituent materials. So, in order to improve the overall performances of these battery materials, a greater understanding of the composition and the structural properties of this material is very much in demand. But as we try to understand this material further, the other challenge that we are left out with is most of these materials that we are dealing with, they are air sensitive. So it becomes absolutely essential to investigate these materials in their native state. So in accordance to that, at Thermo Fisher Scientific, we are providing a solution which is called as a CleanConnect. And this CleanConnect helps you to analyze materials in their native state via the inert gas transfer module. And before I get into the details, a very quick overview about the company. We are Thermo Fisher Scientific. We are a US-based company, and we are about 40 billion revenue company per year, and we have more than 100,000 employees worldwide. And as a company, we invest about $1.4 billion just for research and development. And that goes to show that as a company, we are dedicated to bring the best of technology to the scientific community. And we take absolute pride in our mission that we enable our customers to make the world healthier, cleaner, and safe. So over this discussion, I will give a brief introduction about the Thermo Fisher Scientific IGST workflow. I will also talk about the necessary to have a native air protection and what kind of a solution we have with our workflow. And finally, I would also show you a video which shows how we use the CleanConnect to understand or research the materials in a native state. And that's an overview of our workflow solution that we would like to present upon. And if I recall, at the start of my presentation, I mentioned that the materials that we try to characterize, they have to be investigated on the structural as well as the property level. And when we get into analysis of these materials, then it involves different instruments starting from a macro scale down to an atomic scale. So the same sample has to undergo different instruments for characterization, and that's the reason you need to have some sort of a solution which provides or protects the materials in their native state. So in this workflow solution, you will find that the samples are being taken from the glove box inert atmosphere and it gets loaded into a scanning electron microscope or in certain cases a dual beam. A scanning electron microscope helps to understand the morphological as well as the chemical composition of a sample, and a dual beam helps you to prepare a TEM sample. Because when it comes to characterization under a transmission electron microscope, there are stringent requirements on the thickness of the sample that can be used. So here we provide a dual beam solution which helps you to make an automated TM sample preparation. And once the sample is prepared, we transfer the samples to a transmission electron microscope and that helps to understand the material down on an atomic scale. And over this presentation, I will present the workflow or the overview of these instruments. But before we get into the workflow, one important criteria is why do we need to maintain the nativity of these lithium samples. Here is an image which shows the sample under different conditions. In a zero exposure moment, the nativity of the lithium is maintained, but as it gets exposed to the air, the oxidation spreads out and you will find the pure form of a lithium is totally disturbed. Lithium in its pure form is a BCC structure, which means a body-centered qubit. Whereas as it gets oxidized, the performance of this material is greatly compromised. I will show you in a quick video. This quick video shows, it's a popular video from a YouTube, which shows that a lithium metal which is on a pure state, it's very clean from oxidation, but the moment it gets exposed to air, the oxidation spreads out so fast and that results in limiting the performance of the material. If you look under a scanning electron microscope, the field of width is about 10 micron, you will observe that the pure lithium in its pristine form does not have any oxidation present on its surface. But the moment you expose to the air, the lithium gets oxidized and these are the oxidized layers that limit the performance of the material. So it becomes absolutely important to use the lithium metal in its pure form. So in order to address this solution, we provide a solution called CleanConnect. So this CleanConnect is a complete in-house facility that helps to load the sample in an inert atmosphere, and it also helps you to transfer the sample to different instruments across without exposing it to atmosphere. So this video shows you that you have a sample in an inert glove box atmosphere and this sample can be transferred to the CleanConnect. The CleanConnect loads the sample in an inert atmosphere using argon. And once the sample is loaded here, it can be taken back to your scanning electron microscope. The scanning electron microscope helps you to image the sample, understand the morphological and the chemical composition of the sample. The CleanConnect enters through the quick loader entry lock here. And once it is entered, it maintains the vacuum and it gets transferred into the SEM chamber. The SEM helps you to image the sample, understand the morphology, and at the same time, it can also help you to understand the composition of your sample. And in order to understand the composition of a lithium, it is also possible to attach a time of flight sinks to the chamber. The sinks helps you to understand the presence of a lithium, and by identifying the right areas, you can transfer the sample not only from an SEM, but it can also get into a dual beam. So on the dual beam, a dual beam is a combination of an electron column attached along with an ion column. The dual beam helps you to understand the sample, and it also helps you to do a 3D volume analysis. So instead of not only understanding the composition from the surface, it helps you to understand the composition from a volume cube of your sample. And once the material is analyzed, you can transfer it back to your glove box, and the sample can be loaded into a TEM holder. So in this case, we use the Atmos inert gas holder. And this Atmos inert gas holder again uses the sample argon. It uses the argon to protect the nativity of the sample, and that helps you to get loaded into a transmission electron microscope. So this TEM helps you to understand the composition as well as the structural properties of your sample. So this video shows how you can analyze the sample of lithium under a transmission electron microscope. So the whole procedure, it not only attracts the lithium sample community, but it also addresses a wide range of analysis where it requires the sample to be addressed in an inert atmosphere, including the metal oxide framework as well as the catalysis research community. So moving further, it also becomes a very important point to address that while the sample is in a SEM chamber or in a CleanConnect chamber, the sample does not get contaminated. So when you look here, this is a sample which is freshly investigated under a scanning electron microscope, and it shows no contamination or oxidation of the sample surface. The same sample, after it has been left on a CleanConnect for more than an hour, it still shows that the true nativity of the sample is maintained. So going forward, it also becomes an important practice to address that all these procedures of vacuum pumping, vacuum recycling of the sample can be controlled within the user interface of the scanning electron microscope or the dual beam as well. Since we are using our own in-house solution, we are not relying on a third party. There is no remote control, and all operation operates within the user interface of our own software. Now, having analyzed the sample under a scanning electron microscope, now we would like to prepare a TEM sample. And to prepare a TEM sample, it becomes important that you get the sample under a dual beam. We have a wide range of dual beams, and the models that we have used in this particular example is an Helios Hydra. The Helios Hydra comes with a plasma FIP which uses a xenon, and it can have multiple species like hydrogen, it can have nitrogen, argon as well. So in this example of this battery material used for the TEM sample, we are using argon as a species. So when we talk about preparing a TEM sample, it involves multiple steps. And all these multiple steps can be time consuming and needs an experienced hand to prepare the sample. Whereas with the Thermo Fisher Scientific, we have an automated solution which is called AutoTem. And the AutoTem can help you to prepare TEM samples in a complete automated way without requiring for an operator to be present in front of the instrument. So irrespective of one's experience with the instrument, you are able to prepare high quality TEM samples. So this slide shows the different steps involved in preparing a TEM sample. Starting from the layer identification, where you want to prepare a sample, you can deposit the protective layer platinum, you can prepare the trenches, and it can also help you to prepare the lamella. Once the lamella is prepared, you do an U-cut, and with the U-cut, you can use a manipulator. Our own manipulator is used here to come and lift out the sample. Once the sample is lifted out, you can go and weld it to the half moon grid as shown it in the image. And once the sample is welded to the half moon grid, you can do a thinning of the final lamella. And please note that all these steps that we mentioned, starting from the deposition of a protective layer up to the final thinning of the sample can be done in an automated way using our auto TEM sample. And the whole procedure, starting from the identification of the site up to thinning of the final layer, takes about 40 to 50 minutes for the complete preparation. So this in a way has been a game changer when it comes to TEM sample preparation using the dual beams. So here is a quick comparison that shows once you prepare the TEM lamella inside the plasma fib before and after thinning, you will find that there is no contamination that has taken place. And this is exactly the R&D community working on battery research. They like to have it. And this video clipping shows that once you take it out, then we go to the glove box, we change the sample to a TM holder, and this lab is about 300 meters far away from the dual beam. The dual beam and the TM rooms are about 300 meters. We take the sample using our CleanConnect, and it shows there is absolutely no contamination that has taken place with our CleanConnect transfer. And this CleanConnect is compatible with most of the glove boxes that are available in the market. And it can be used to transfer the samples via the entry lock that is provided on the glove box attachment. And now loading the sample to a TM holder. As I mentioned before, that we use the Atmos holder from the Mel build and we load the sample. And this shows the images of a stem mode on a Talos instrument. These images are recorded using a cold FIC attached with a SuperX EDS detector, and the stem images have been collected on our multi-segmented Panther detector. So the dark field images clearly show a diffraction contrast coming out of the areas of interest. And if we get further on the magnification, it very clearly shows atomic resolution. The moire fringes that you see on the image on the left hand side, this could be partially due to the slight oxidation that has spread across the layer. And a zoomed image shows the presence of clear lithium atoms. Lithium atoms have been imaged with no oxidation observed on this area on our 200 kV Talos TM, which has no aberration corrector. This shows that a high quality TM sample can be prepared using our dual beams along with the CleanConnect solution, and on a Talos, a high quality TM images can be captured. So if we want to make a solid progress as far as the battery materials are concerned, a greater understanding of the structural property of the material is required. And if you want to understand the structural and the compositional property, investigation under these different instruments, maintaining the originality of the sample is an absolute requirement. Now the question that comes to us is that we have recorded a high resolution image. How does the yield spectrometer, the energy loss spectrum study, shows the presence of a lithium? So for that, we have used the Gatan yield spectrometer, and it clearly shows the low loss region having a lithium presence. And even if you look into the oxygen on the high loss, there is a very less contamination of oxygen that has been observed. So this very clearly proves that the lithium material that we want to analyze has been captured in the true native state. And the energy filtered image which is shown here very clearly shows the presence of a lithium with a very less presence of oxidation over the sample surface. So in order to go through all these procedures, starting from an ACM, where you understand the morphology and the compositional studies, then moving into a dual beam instrument where you prepare a TM sample, then the TM sample getting transferred to a TM holder, getting into TM analysis, all this involves multiple states of great art and practice. And with the help of our CleanConnect, we have been able to navigate through the complete process, maintaining the original purity of a lithium metal in its original state. So to summarize, CleanConnect has been able to maintain the sample integrity to a levels which are never seen before. Then the ergonomic design of this CleanConnect and its ability to be controlled with our own user interface makes handling of the CleanConnect much easier than ever before. And it can provide a seamless transition from one instrument to the other, and the automation with respect to sample loading and unloading makes the analysis faster and easier, and it is compatible with most of the glove boxes that are available in the market. So in order to summarize, characterization of battery materials, particularly with respect to maintaining the nativity of the sample, has gone to an unprecedented levels with the help of our CleanConnect solution. With that, I thank the audience who have been present here, and I'd be happy to address any further queries. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Are there any questions that anyone would like to ask? All right, Dr. Karthik. That was a very informative information and presentation and masterclass that we just witnessed. So, first of all, a huge round of applause for the patience and for providing us so much information on the topic. Thank you. And as a token of our appreciation, I would like to felicitate you with a memento on behalf of Informa Markets. Just one more.